All right. Da 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 da. And away we go. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody in internet land. Ghostly, Cryptid, welcome in. Padois. Looking at you, you pretentious asses, are pulling out the Latin. I guess that's true. Although for whatever reason, I always associate that with French, which I mean, it's a Romance language, so it's in the same ballpark. Mine seems to be Polish, so I gave it a little house, and twice a year it gets a nip of the nice alcohol. Nice. Pour one out for the old Eldritch house. I do like this, but yes, we're being pretentious today. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Sorry about yesterday. I'm glad that today is not the day that the AC or the power decided to go out, because it is insanely hot today. So I'll take the mild inconvenience of yesterday, because yesterday wasn't nearly as hot as it is today. Today is brutal. So I was trying to make a joke about saying the language that I got you, Ghostly. I got you. That makes it, yeah. I guess I managed to shoot the bullseye blindfolded. That's great. Yep. Yeah, that's true. It was. I guess someone hit a transformer. I don't know, crashed into it or something. I am not sure. Anyway, but they were able to. Ghostly Sensei, you'll be pleased. Ah, okay. Shall I be pleased? Will I be pleased? Anyway, what you got, Ghostly? What you got? I cannot go over his head because Muppet will catch it, kiddo. I don't know if it will. Do not guarantee. There is no guarantee I will get anything, to be fair. A lot goes over my head. What a dope. Indeed a dope. True dope. Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure what would have happened, but I did, before it happened, or initially, it wasn't before it happened, it was after it happened, but before we got the notice of what happened, I did hear a bunch of sirens. So, you're writing your first proper Eldritch horror? Ooh, okay, I am indeed pleased. I'm very excited for this, Ghostly. Very, very, very excited. Am I the only one privileged with the knowledge today? The knowledge of the Eldritch horror? Because that is indeed proper knowledge. I'm very excited, Ghostly. I definitely am very excited. Further up, nerd. What? I don't know. Because Muppet will catch it, kiddo. Wait. Was there another one? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, mine seems to be. Oh no, wait, that's that. I don't know. Moon Runes, welcome in. I don't know. I missed it. Whatever it is, I missed it. I missed about the Transformer. I might have not updated the Transformer. Yeah, I think I may have just told you, Cryptid, that it was the Transformer issue. Yeah. Anyway, that's what caused the power outage. Someone drove into the Transformer. Moon Runes, welcome in. How goes it? How are you? Sorry about yesterday, but no, I didn't know if Ghostly told you that. Oh, she's been parking lot skulking. Was this for the Eldritch? Oh, I gotcha. It's Osiri because oceans are big and scary. Okay, that's fair. Mm-hmm. Me and Lovecraft would not vibe on most things, but a hatred of water we would bond over. That is true. You two would get along about a hatred of water, seafood, all things of and about the ocean. Very excited. I'm very excited, Ghostly. Oh yeah, it was my film thing. I was yeah. I'm very excited, Ghostly. Very excited for Cosmic Horror. It's about a lighthouse, even more perfect. Excellent. This is everything about this is sounding fantastic, Ghostly. I'm a big fan. Big fan of this. Good. But yeah, anyway, how's everybody doing? How's everybody week's gone? Moon Runes? Oh no, you sadly won't be able to stay though. Tyler has a show tonight. Hell yes. He plays guitar in his band. What a cool dude. Anyway, that's cool. And I just got the venue, but I wanted to hop in and say hi, and I hope you all get the words. Oh, thanks, Moon Runes. Well, go have fun tonight. Go have fun at the show. Have fun partying with the band, hopefully. Have a good time. But yeah, thanks for popping in, and we'll see you next week, hopefully. But yeah, take care, Moon Runes. Have fun. Have a lovely time. Yeah, it's going to be a blast. Lovely to see you, even if it's just for a bit. Always a blast. We'll do so. Yeah, we will be. Yeah. Lord, remember on Tuesday how I said my goal was to have the redraft of Schism done this week? I've been working on it all fucking day. Well, not yesterday. I went to go see a movie yesterday while it was hot, but I've been working on it like literally from waking up to sleep, and I'm like barely almost 40 pages into this thing. So it's I don't know. That's probably not going to happen, particularly because a lot of I actually thought the first half was going to be easy to rewrite because there's a lot of stuff in the third act I want to kind of change. And there's been enough. I have not made this easy on myself. I've certainly not made this easy on myself. I am doing way too much in this fucking script. That's what I realized. There's too much going on. I'm now I understand why people just do dude with knife chases people in house, because that's hard enough. Let alone all the bullshit I'm trying to do. It takes time to cook. It does. But I have other stuff I need to jump on, and I need to get this ready to go. But I guess respect the time it takes to get this shit done. Sounds good, Cryptid. See you all next time. I'll put some videos. Yes, please send some videos. I'd love to see the show. But have a good night. You cannot rush perfection. You definitely have to respect the time this shit takes. It's just like, because I also have another NDA script. I have an NDA script I'm supposed to be working on that I need to get done. I have the low budget feature film I'm trying to finish with the faceless feature. That I've like put all that on hold to try to get an updated draft of Schism out. And I really there's a film I want to do called Cutter, that I've had on the back burner for quite a while. That's my goth slacker kid Mesa, Arizona desert trash kind of like kid coming of age comedy drama. But it's been on the back burner. I haven't talked about it a lot, but it's been on the back burner for like almost over a year now, probably like 2 years. And I've really wanted to write it. So I have that. That's like chomping at the bit. There's too much shit to be done. There's so much to be done. Anyway, Sensei, be patient with yourself, damn it. You're doing fucking great. It takes time to make a souffle. Thank you, Ghostly. I am busy. That's true. This year has been rough. I'm so excited for your script doctoring. That sounds so rad. Yeah. Well, the NDA is not script doctoring. The NDA is an actual script I am writing completely. It's an NDA. It's a thing I can't release, and I won't be able to write it on stream. But I do need to. It's a separate thing that I'm actually doing from. It's not just script doctoring. I'm actually writing this one. Gothic kid coming of age comedy drama. Where does the cosmic horror come in? It's actually that's what the interesting thing is. I don't really. There is a horror element, but it's a little bit more of like, it's definitely leaning into some of my more like 90s influence, like Hal Hartley, and a little bit like. It's definitely like a my imaginary best friend type thing. Essentially, this is going to sound really like angsty and weird, but there's a reason why it exists. So essentially what it is, or like Repo Man, essentially what it is, and this is what you probably see why it's going to be a dramedy, but it's about a kid, like a goth kid, growing up in Mesa, Arizona, in like the early aughts, who is a cutter, who like cuts themselves. And essentially, one day, the blood becomes a blood monster that's kind of like a punk rock, cool monster that hangs out with the kid and all their friends. And it becomes this whole, like, I've definitely got some analogy shit, like some allegory going on there. But it's essentially about this, like, punk rock blood monster who's, like, best friends with these kids. And it obviously leans into destructive behaviors, leaning on a crutch, but also having a thing. Essentially what I'm trying to do is be like toxic coping behavior meets like Lassie. And so of course obviously you can see how the ending is going to be is essentially how do you put down, you have to put down Lassie. And so that's going to be the emotional crux of the story. But anyway, but it's supposed to be like my like punk cool thing anyway. Anyway, yeah. How do you get beyond the problematic coping behavior or like or a quote unquote addiction, but make it like a really cool like pet/best friend. So that's the story, but it's obviously going to be leaning heavily into like a lot of my experiences growing up in Arizona, the people I knew, like that kind of like desert punk rock goth misfits vibe of like, dude, and I'm not joking, dudes hanging out outside of liquor stores that would like beat people up and steal booze from them. like a bunch of like college ASU jock kids. Like that, like no joke, like I had friends who did that shit. So anyway, it's like leaning into that world, and that's the whole thing. So anyway, but yeah, it's been on the mind for a long time. I'm not gonna lie, the cats passing away kind of made me want to lean into this sort of like coming of age, losing a pet, but like making it more interesting and dynamic. Anyway, so that's why it's been on the docket for a while. It's been a story I've been wanting to write. So anyway, but that's like 3 projects down the fucking list. That's also the problem. Anyway, sorry, let me catch up on chat. I just like rambled for a while. For the love of God, I will suplex you. Ghostly's gonna drop kick me. Waiting for the part of the desert starts talking. That is true. Speaking of which, it's funny you mentioned, this is the other problem I'm having, Cryptid, is it's funny that you mentioned the desert just start talking. The desert start talking, also me being in Kona for Hawaii, is making me loop back around to Lone Star, the Western. It's going to be radically different, but I had like, and that's actually kind of part of it, is volcanic, weird desert talking to you shit. A little less over the top and lore heavy and more like surreal, psychedelic, bizarre. But I also now have kind of cracked, when I was in Hawaii, I was thinking about it and I kind of cracked how I think I'm going to do Lone Star. And I'm going to take another crack at it. But then again, that's further down the list of projects. Anyway. And I don't know if I've even talked to Chad about how I wrote a whole movie when I was in Savannah, Georgia. I was at a dive bar and I just wrote it, like literally wrote the beat for beat plots of a one night movie, like a movie that takes place in one night on my phone. there's a lot of things. What happens when I work forever means I end up like all this stuff just starts getting added to the queue and I start losing track of things. Anyway. Sorry. Ghosted with wholeheartedly, I believe wholeheartedly. Like Surge, not to be a dick, but your timeline expectations are idealistic in a broken world. You need to be kind to yourself with these deadlines. That is true. I literally, yeah, I do have irrational expectations of my productivity levels. That's for damn sure. Punk rock blood monster. I love it. I thought it was a cool idea. What could I do? Suplex Sensei? You could. You probably could. I fuck with that heavy. That's good. I'm glad you enjoy that idea. Oh no, not the weird Western I love. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. This is how much Hawaii broke you. Amazing. That is true. You just said you went to the wormhole. Oh yes. Oh yeah. I think I may not have told. Of course, you wrote a whole movie in there. Twilight goes to the wormhole and comes out with another script. That's true. It's a dive bar in Savannah, Georgia, called the Wormhole, which I thought, which is very fitting. But I actually did write Sensei. What I see here is no matter what project you pick, you cannot lose. I guess that's that's good. It's a good problem to have. Okay, Ghostly, you make me feel better about this. It's a good problem to have. Yeah, I didn't. I actually still. I wonder if you can see it. I saved the wormhole shows. Let's see if you can. Yeah, this was the little pamphlet from the thing. I saved it while I was writing down the notes. So it's definitely like a. This was the band that was playing when I was there. The Obsessed, like definitely washed up old like doom metal band. But yeah, I had like a I had like ghostly. Oh no, my lobster too buttery, my wine's too sweet. Exactly. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, ghostly. I do think they're all solid ideas. I do think they're all solid ideas, but yeah, I actually just rewatched an old 90s MTV movie called 200 Cigarettes. That had also reminded me of kind of what I was trying to do with the Savannah, Georgia idea that I wrote down, where it's essentially a series of interconnecting people's dramas that all coalesce at a dive bar in a small part of town where there's a doom metal band playing. You know, there's like relationships happening, relationships being broken apart, things like that. You know, the dramas of life. But as this doom metal, that's an old washed up doom metal band is playing, and the reason why I started writing the idea was I was fascinated at the fact that everybody was watching the U.S. team lose, and there was just something deeply poetic to me about like, what if I wrote a story about it? Also, who was watching European football in a doom metal dive bar? It was very strange, but there was like one person that was super super involved with the US not losing, and it was a very interesting thing. It was definitely like giving me Moby Dick, how can I make this weird strange story an allegory for essentially like we're all driving hand in hand into the apocalypse. It's kind of where I was going with it, but anyway. That's excellent. Fine art. You know this too. Housemate Mike quotes this all the time. Nice. Yes. I know I'm not wrong. My question is, do you want me to do a Lone Star Rio or a manu? Do you want to? Oh, do you want to do a Lone Star as a script you write or as a manuscript? That's a good point. As the way I have it conceived. The way I have it conceived is definitely very like abstract and visual. But I guess it might work as a novel. I guess you could write, if I definitely leaned into my like Cormac McCarthy Blood Meridian style stuff where it's like really psychedelic, and like even the language and the sentence structure itself captures that kind of like really really disjointed, odd flow state. Yeah, like Faulkner. Yeah. I mean, Cormac McCarthy is kind of like a modern Faulkner in a lot of ways. Um, that was me and my work-wise vocal stim. That's funny. Incredible. The kids are all right. Yep. Do weird, be Faulkner. Exactly. You can do it. I believe it. I mean, we'll see. Yeah. I think Blue Devils is still going to be my first crack at like as doing prose, mainly because I have a lot of ideas for how I would approach that story outside of the screenplay, like separate structurally and in the language, how I would approach it outside of the structure of the screenplay. But I do, and I also think that Blue Devils would also work as like a novella, like not a full novel or a very short novel, essentially like a pocketbook novel. I feel like that one I could make that one pretty short, which is what I would prefer for for my first crack at prose. Just keep that shit short. I asked because I have downtime so I can get on. I already have notes written up. I agree. The Blue Devils. Yeah, that's gonna be the easiest one because also the plot elements in that are very very clear and distinct, which makes it easier to just kind of follow, and I can meander, and it gives me time to experiment in prose land. If you start with Lone Star, it's still doable just on hard mode, but hey, you play a lot of Elder Scrolls, so maybe that's their jam. Well, you play a lot of FromSoft game, which hard mode, that is my jam, and straight up hard mode. Just life on hard mode. Elder Scrolls, no, Elden Ring, sorry, yeah. Just anything FromSoft, that's my jam. Been up since 6. Oof, man. I like oddly slept a lot last night, so I'll take it. Apparently I needed it, but Sensei not helping the masochism rumors. Sensei never denied never denied such rumors. It was I merely let those rumors exist. Oh, you had to do labs. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, speaking of which, shit, I have to do that on Monday. I have labs on Monday, although I don't think it's not 6 a.m., but which will be fun. Anyway, so Yes. Do. Anyway, where are we at? Should we dive into sprints? Definitely going to next daily Twilight. Masochism confirmed and Worm Overlord. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One does not merge with the sand trout and become worm. One does not merge with the sand trout, become worm overlord, and go down the golden path without a certain degree of masochism. Um, this is the way. This is the truth. This is the one narrow way. The sand trout, yeah, sand trout, baby worms. That's what they call them, the sand trout. That's the baby worms. Remember in Dune Part 2 when they kill the baby worm? So when that was a super baby, when it was super small, it's called a sand trout. And they're like little like sand fishies. And then they eventually, like, as part of their cycle, they eventually become the worms, and then the worms grow into the giant worms. But Leto the Second merges with the sand trout. The sand trout latched to his skin, and then after, thousands of years, he becomes like worm man. slowly becoming more worm than man. Which is why I, still to this day, I've always, oh dear, I like how everyone's like, oh dear God, it's only a matter of time we get back to Dune. Ghostly, it's coming. I mean, it always comes back to Dune. And the fact that Dune Part 3 is coming out in December. By the way, does anyone know how excited I am about the fact that I get to relive 2 years ago? 2 years ago, I had like the best experience of my life being able to just go see Dune Part 2 and then Nosferatu by like one of my favorite current working directors. Like two of my current favorite had movies that came out literally within like a week and a half, 2 weeks of each other. And I just got to go watch each movie back and like I think I watched both those movies maybe like I saw Nosferatu like 4 times in the movie theater. And I definitely saw Dune close to 7. It was a lot. I saw Dune Part 2 a lot in the theater. And now I get to do the exact same thing again. Yeah, I get to do the exact same thing again with Werewolf. And Werewolf is stylistically way closer to The Lighthouse, and also the movies he's riffing on are like are closer to like the old Russian films that the Russian films that I used to really love, like Andrei Tarkovsky's, like Andrei Rublev, these like dirty old medieval looking films that were really really like textured and like dynamic and like that. So anyway, that's the whole. So anyway, yes, I get to like live my film dream again in December. More worm than man. I think you found your autobiography title. This is or the biography of Leto the Second. Ghostly, I'm terrified for Dune Part 3, as you should be, Are we talking about the movie about the Bracket man? Wait, the what? Wait. Oh no. Oh wait. Ghostly, I'm gonna just sit down. Wait, what? Or at least a few weeks before the VOD. Wait. What's the Backet man? Backet? Bucket? Is there a Bucket man? Are we talking about the movie? Are you talking about the movie about the Backet man? What? No, wait. What is this? What are we talking about? I feel like I should know. Everyone's just like, no. Oh my God. Oh, what is this? Don't worry about short straws who tells them. What is this? Do you have a movie coming out? Is that what this is? Do you have a movie coming out, Ghostly? Do you have a movie coming out in December that have I not heard? What? I have not heard. What is this? Oh, yes. Yeah. Speaking of like fantasy slash imaginary figures that are, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. The Wicker Man movie. Yes, okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I have seen the trailer for this. Yes. I am aware of this movie. The Basket Man. Thank you. Basket Man. Yes. I did see someone, I believe a friend of mine sent me the trailer for that. Yes. Yes. Very funny. Very, very funny. IKEA. Oh, of course, IKEA. IKEA already has run ads over the tune of "Damn, Where's My Husband" song with all the wig. That's really funny. I give them props for that. It is a time to be alive. I'm going to cry into my tequila. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. There's actually, oh god, what is the title? Hold on. See, that's not even the worst. It's funny that that's the movie everyone's talking about, because there's a way weirder one that came out last year that I was a big fan of. Hold on. It's I'm going to cry into my heel. It's based on the short story called The Wicker Husband. Oh, okay, I see. Wuthering Heights. It is not Wuthering Heights, although I highly recommend you read the book. But I was not a not a fan of of her adaptation of Wuthering Heights. Oh god, what is the movie called? It's a movie about a girl and a guy who both fall in love with the same alien creature and start having this like weird poly thing with the alien creature, and it's like a Lovecraftian eldritch monstrosity, and they're both like so it's like it's two best friends like in love with this freaky Lovecraftian alien monster. What the fuck is it called? Yes, Ghostly. Yes, they did. I'm assuming you're talking about is this what is that what Sinners was about? No. So it's Lovecraftian polyamory? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. They do crack a lot of like hentai jokes in there because of the like obviously tentacle weirdness of it. God, what is the I got to remember what is the name of that movie? It's very I thought it was very funny, but god damn it. No, what is it called? This is going to drive me nuts. And it's way more interesting than say like Shape of Water, which is very like Del Toro romantic, that kind of thing. It was more oh, this is going to drive me nuts. Why can I not this is going to it's going to make me crazy. Um Ghostly, never seen it. Sinners? No, Sinners is great. Um I liked a lot of Sinners. There's things I didn't like about Sinners, but there's a lot of Sinners that. Yeah, you're talking about Heathcliff. Yeah, yes. Heathcliff's identity, I guess, ethnic identity is never really explored, but he is. It is very. He is not white. The only thing that you can 100% say about Heathcliff is that he's not white. Yes. Yeah. It is not if it's not plot relevant, whatever, but it's not just his that this is even not just his ethnicity, like his class, who he was. Yeah, that's all relevant. It was less of an adaptation, more of an inspiration. Yeah, from what I've heard, it's like definitely not it's definitely not like a like she wasn't even really trying to do an adaptation, which okay, fine, but I still find I find I find her choices distasteful, if that makes sense. And really and honestly like revealing of her own class. Actually, that was the thing that I thought was interesting about oh god, what was the movie she made before? Saltburn, is that I think she's like she's a person who grew up extraordinarily wealthy in an insane world that is very wealthy, that is aware of her wealth and the problems that her wealth does, but also makes movies fundamentally about her own anxiety about being that wealthy in the face of how poor people are. So there's like an awareness of her wealth, but it creates this kind of perversion where she's also terrified of like poor. She sees poor people as solely coming after to take her wealth and murder her, which not necessarily totally like a wrong thing to jump to, but like it comes like a lot of her creative choices I feel like come from that anxiety and this sort of like power, like everything is about power and power dynamics in that way, which isn't always necessarily the case, particularly if you see movies made like or stories told about like people's struggles. I don't know, there's something psychologically very strange going on in her films. um at that point, just write your own fucking story. Agreed. It does make sense, and you're absolutely correct. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Anyway, I'm like desperately searching for what the hell this movie is called because it's gonna make me crazy. Wasn't this guy? I don't know. Wait. Is that? Nope. Oh my god, this is gonna make me nuts. It's gonna make me crazy. Anyway, I will have to look it up later. I'll look it up later, I'm sure. Anyway, so derailed chat. I have tried looking this up based on your notes, and I'm even stumped up at apologies. I tried. I know, like it's on my. Do I have? Hold on. In theory, it should have been on my like a watch list because I watched it at home. Ah. Wait, hold on. One more attempt. Is it Touch Me? I think that's it. Yes, it's Touch Me. It's called Touch Me. I did it. It's called Touch Me. Thank you. My god, that was going to make me insane. Yes. That is like if you if you want if the Wicker Man stuff or the Basket Man isn't enough. Absurdity in that genre. You can go find Touch Me, which is definitely a lot weirder. But anyway, the moon hologram. There's a moon hologram. Is Sensei? Wait, the moon hologram? What moon hologram? What? Thank you, Ghostly. I was like, oh. The moon a hologram? I actually just rewrote the opening a little bit. I'm trying to sneak as much weird moon shit into the very opening of the movie. The moon wait. This sounds like something from my 60s spy research, another film. It's like maybe. I mean, moon hologram, I'm assuming that associates with Schism. That's my guess. I do know Ghostly is also trying to figure out what my many plans are, so I don't know if that's part of it. Maybe the moon is a hologram. That's the big reveal at the end of Schism. It's all fake. It's a hologram. What was the moon Nazi movie? It was like terrible, like Iron Sky. Like the Nazis were hiding out on the moon. Maybe we need a moon hologram so people launch rockets at something else. Fucking A, right, Cryptid? Goddamn. Quit dangling this carrot, Sensei. It's driving me insane. In time. I know it probably doesn't help, too, that I'm just so busy. How will I ever have time to do all these plans within plans with this plans? It's gonna be a thing. It's like it's gonna be like 10 years later. I'm like, here was the plan, and Ghostie's like, I don't even care. I've moved on so hard. I've moved on so much in my life at this point. My God, it's 10 years, Sensei. Jesus. She's gonna go back to that vintage store and get a cartoonishly large magnifying glass. That's true. It's like I Spy or Where's Waldo. I'm going to break something. Anyway, I'll stop teasing. All right, we should dive into sprints. It's not on screen. I don't know what's on screen. It's not on screen. I sense it. I sense away. Sense away. It's only in his mind. I will tell you this. I definitely have caught myself. There have been clues. I have dropped clues about all kinds of things. Many of my plans within plans, not just this one, but the many of them. Definitely. I mean, we talked about the short film. That's not a secret. I already talked about that, but I've dropped. There are things I've definitely, the whole loose lips sink ships kind of thing. It's happened a couple times. Luckily though, for now, the plans remain safe. All right. All right. Let us dive on in. Okay, but you did drop those clues when you were sleep deprived because yeah, that's true. I probably did. I mean, I'm generally sleep deprived, although not today, so that counts. But all right, we've been chatting it up. Oh my God, 45 minutes, everybody. We got to dive into sprints. All right, so we're gonna dive on in, get our sprints going. We're gonna do 40-minute sprints today. Hopefully, a full set, at least 3, is gonna be the plan. So, I do want to still kind of wrap close to 7:30 because I do want to try to go for a walk before the sun's totally set. But yeah, in the meantime, we will at least do 3. Your brain is often functioning on a level us lowly humans cannot comprehend. That I don't know about that. Well, when I'm in like worm overdrive, maybe when I'm in full God Emperor worm overdrive. Anyway, all right, let's dive on in, everybody. Let's get a writing. What the fuck? What? Oh my God, what is happening? I'm getting a call. All right, we're gonna start our sprint, and I'm gonna deal with this. That better not be work. All right, do. Happy writing, everybody. Wait a minute. Let me switch the music. And obviously Schism playlist. So if that ain't your jam, we will do that. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see if hopefully the timer works this time. We'll see. And away we go. All right, there we go. And that is the end of that sprint. Pencils down. I don't know why. It's very, like, academic. Like, I'm a teacher. Like, all right, test is over. Pencils down. No more writing. But anyway, hopefully that was a productive sprint for everybody. Let me start the break timer. There we go. Let me just save this really quick because Final Draft is acting really slow for some reason, and that makes me nervous. Always save your work, and I don't trust autosaves. I've been burned. I have definitely, many a time in middle school, writing a whole thing in, like, Microsoft Word, or I think, or, oh God, what was it wasn't Microsoft Word. There was a different writing program that I used, and I remember it would crash. I remember I would never save it, or I'd be writing for like 4 hours, and it would just crash, and it would all be gone. And I'm like, well, I'm done. Goodbye. Anyway. Well, that's because you are a teacher. Well, thank you, Cryptid. Thank you. My Scrivener's also giving me hiccups. Yeah. Scrivener generally, unless it's like a big file, my bigger files where there's a lot of stuff in there, they do tend to sometimes get a little sloggy. It's definitely, particularly if you upload a lot of pictures, have a lot of reference pictures, and it's like a more robust file, I don't think it manages this file size super well. I blame Airbnb. It's the phone call's fault. Exactly, Cryptid. Exactly. All right. So, okay, here we go. All right. So this is Ghostly's Eldritch Horror. Cosmic Horror. All right. So basically, this gal named Tallulah has a quarter-life crisis when she turns 30. Okay. Because she hates her degree and job field. Okay. Her abusive mother just died, so she has no family left. Probably complicated feelings about that. And her long-term partner just broke things off. Oh man, yeah. So she's all right. So this going through it. So in that, she buys a sailboat, with the last of her mother's money, and she sets out to go nowhere in particular. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Does she have a back? I'm assuming you're gonna set up a background in sailing. It would be, I mean, there are times I have seen this actually happen where, like, some rich person will just, like, buy like a helicopter and not know how to fly and crash it. It's happened, but I'm assuming she has more said. This girl, as depressed as she is, okay, yes, her dad was a sailor. Okay, got it. Yep. Oh, that's kind of sweet. You can do some, like, this is how she either connects to her memory of her father or reconciles maybe complicated feelings about her father or a father she barely knew. There's a lot of good, like, gothic stuff you can do with that. I like that, Ghostly. She's 2 months in. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So she's doing, like, yeah, she's really out there. She's 2 months in when she hits a storm and capsizes. She wakes up on a black sand island with nothing but a lighthouse in the middle of the ocean. That's very cool. I'm a big fan of that. Yeah. Okay. Yes, this was my plan. Perfect. Oh, I've absolutely elder millennials do exactly this with almost no experience. Oh yeah, they do it all the time. I mean, that's not an elder millennial. The boomers have done it. A lot of people do that. I love this. You know what, Ghostly? I like this idea a lot. I'm a big fan of this. Particularly black sand island, volcanic island with nothing but a lighthouse in the middle of the ocean. Big fan. If you're inclined to read anything for inspiration, something short, like I think it's like a 5-page short story. It actually is a short story I almost adapted from Lovecraft, instead of the Statement of Randolph Carter when I was doing Visions of Sonia Green. But it's about it just to get like tone and vibe. But it's about a guy who is like was on like a World War I. Who was on a ship that sunk, and it was just him in a raft alone, and then he wakes up one day, and it's just black asphalt volcanic sand as far as he can see. So, and there's no sign of the ocean. It's just that. I mean, the implication is that the ocean rose up. And the whole story is basic. It's just he gets stalked by something big and spooky. That's it. That's all it is, and goes crazy. Like, you never see the thing. It's just a thing stalks him. Anyway, but it's like a short story, so if you need any inspiration for vibes, I highly recommend it, because it's kind of got a little bit of that, like, that creepy creepy kind of like seafaring vibe. We meet Yoder, the old lighthouse keeper who is not there but keeps who is not there to keep ships from the rocks, but to keep something else at bay. Ooh, okay. I like this. I like that. I always like a strange old man who's like taken it upon himself to keep like this just perpetually cosmic monstrosity at bay. I'm always a big fan of that. It's a good it's a good time to make an absolutely insane character. So, I am a big fan of this Ghostly. Um, Yonder inherited the house, and he tells her that the supply ship, uh, inherited the house and tells her a supply ship only comes in every 6 months, and it just came last month. Okay, so now our character is stuck on the island with the crazy man. Okay, cool. Yep. So she's been there a long while. Well, she's going to be there a long while. It sounds like. So essentially, there's no way to get off this island for another 5 months. So you're stuck on the island. Yeah. Yep. Yep. This is good. This is all good. All perfect. Creepy lighthouse story. Or a short, well, depending on how things go. Oh, yeah. Or a short. Yeah, that's true, Cryptid. Or a short amount of time. Depending on how things go. Yeah. And she finds immediately that there's no, that is a place no person is ever meant to be. And she finds immediately that this is a place that no person was ever meant to be. Yeah, okay, yeah, yep. Yep, it's a place that's kind of like on the border between time and space. That's all perfect cosmic horror, you know, it's House on the Borderland. This is a place that was never meant to be, that no one's supposed to be. The water talks to you there. Yes, big fan of this. Big fan of this. Mm-hmm. The whispers in the water. Mm-hmm. It speaks. You can hear it. Yep, that's great. I love that. Anytime it's like the mountain talks to you, essentially like some part of the landscape is just speaking to you, is great. It aims to eat you. Okay, so it's trying to consume you. Okay. So is it just it just wants to eat? Is that like the thing? It's just this thing is like a kind of like cosmic perpetual hunger. So it just whatever is living it desires to sort of consume. Wait, is that the supply ship? Wait, what? Yoder says Yoder says his soul is too salty. It doesn't call him anymore. She's not so salty. Okay, that's the little sprinkle. Okay, okay, that's the sprinkle of ghostly in there. Is that it's almost like it's like a reverse it's like a reverse Polar Express where like it's not the reverse, it's just like instead of it being like childlike whimsy and wonder where you still hear the bell, that so you still believe in Santa Claus kind of thing, but it's like even the monsters like that dude is he's too much of a salty sea dog for me. I don't want to consume the old creepy man. I love it, Ghostly. That's like you've somehow found a way to inject your sense of humor into, and also just a great build up for a great character into even your cosmic horror story. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that. I think that's fucking great. I think that slaps. All stories tie back to Cheetos. They're all about burnout. Exactly, they're about burnout and something. Yonder's just burnt out, and even the cosmic horror is like, man, it's just not even fun when it comes to old Yonder or Yoder, not Yonder. Yonder, there is a Yoder. There's Yoder, there yonder. I'm a big fan of this. Ghostly, I'm in love with this story, so I'm a big fan already. I love it. I also think it just sets up a perfect time for you to be spooky and also have fun with it. Yotter's wonderful, yep. His struggle is denying himself of basic human joys, and how it becomes harder when no longer... Oh, that's a good... Yeah. it's easier to be miserable when you're alone, but when he finds someone he can connect with, it makes him it makes him question the commitment that he's made. Probably actually how he's kept himself alive and plans to keep the creature at bay too. I feel like there could also be a strange thematic element you could tie into that with your main character's backstory about connection, being alone, not being alone. I feel like you're doing some theming work there, Ghostly. No straight up, it's just supplies. The sentient ocean hungers without sustenance. Yeah, I figured that's it. Yeah, it's just that's may Ghostly maybe. You're doing well, Ghostly. You're doing well. Very proud. I think it's a great concept for a story. I love it. I'm on board. I'm sold. I'm sold on this one. I'm 100%, and it's first person, so that's weird. Oh, nice. Oh wow, you really are leaning into Lovecraft. You're writing first person. You are straight up doing Lovecraft. That's yeah. All the short stories I wrote on the boat, actually, now that I think about it, all my spooky, scary sea stories that I wrote when I was out on the boat were all first person. I got that from Lovecraft. I was just ripping them off, but yeah. I'm trying to make it a short. Fuck yes. I'm not doing Lovecraft. I guess the Lovecraft style, yes. I'm not saying you are, in fact, Lovecraft, but you're doing the style, which is... Because Lovecraft was unique in the period that he was writing in first person. That was not common. It's still, still to this day isn't common. But it was one of the things that made Lovecraft unique, is that he specifically, almost exclusively wrote almost all of his stories in first person. He's way too white for my taste. Fair. I mean, you're not wrong. He's way too white for a lot of people's taste. He's ironically way too white for even his own taste, which is extra funny given the hypocrisy of his own racism. It's very funny. Never expect them to be actually consistent. They're just scared little hateful little gremlins. All right. But Ghostly, I'm very on board. I'm very, Bro was also... Yeah, yes, Ghostly, he was an odd-looking fellow, yes. He looks like he would wear a fedora. One might argue he was like literally famous for writing letters to the editor. He's kind of the first incel in a lot of ways. I heard somebody say that once, and I was like, yeah, I can't. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard, and it's totally not wrong. And actually, when he was doing his archaeological stuff, absolutely. I mean, he probably did wear a fedora. He wore a hat that looked like a fedora. I don't know if he could ever actually afford a fedora, like a nice hat, but he had hats that looked like fedora because he would go out to archaeological dig sites with people that like he corresponded with. But you're not wrong. You are not wrong. Quite possibly the whitest man in Rhode Island, which is hard to do. He lived in his mommy's basement. He lived in his aunt's basement because his mother, did she die? No, she went crazy and then died. The dad died when he was young. So he actually was raised by his aunts. So he lived in his aunt's base, both of his aunts, who are both like single waspy old women he lived in their basement. But they had all come from money, but they had run out of money. So they were actually like weirdly kind of from old money, but no old money. I feel like there's a part of me that is convinced that his upbringing is like, if you've ever seen the movie Grey Gardens, and I'm just like, I just imagine that that's what that is. Like his upbringing was just Grey Gardens. Actually, no. I think if being raised by women, he would learn how to write them. I think you grossly. I don't think he was raised by like. Did he ever even write women? I don't think he ever actually did. All of his main character, like, well, because they're all from first persons. They're all first person. I don't think there just aren't any, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to think. I mean, maybe there are, and I just am forgetting. I don't even think they. I don't even think they exist half the time. I don't even. I really don't think. I'm trying to really think. Yeah. I don't think. I don't think his aunts were probably the best role models for that. Not gonna lie. Given at least just what we know or what little we know about Lovecraft's family, I would not bet that they were the best role models for him to learn how to write women. But anyway, I mean, he grew up in a waspy rich family on the way out, and literally turned him into it literally turned him into what he was. He's the product of centuries of racism, and he just had a decent imagination. But yeah. Anyway, all right, we should dive on in to our second sprint. A man who never writes out sounds kind of fruity. That you're not. There are rumors. I mean, there's always rumors, but people have wondered, because he did correspond with openly gay writers and artists. That is true. I don't know if they were ever like discussed, but there were writers that were openly queer at the time, um, that he did write to. Most of them were like scientists and poets, oddly enough. But yeah, I don't know. But obviously, there's always the rumor mill. I think he was just a little basement freak. That's my theory. Huh? The more you know. Dude had a weird life. Dude had a really weird life. Anyway, all right. Well, we should dive on in to the sprints. Do do do. Crypto literature's first and most incel of all incels. That is probably true. Uh, Where's my timer? There we go. Okay. All right. Happy writing, everybody. Hope the sprint treats you well, and we will see you all on the other side. And away we go. All right, there we go. The end of the sprint. Snuck up on me a little bit. All right, 1 second. Do. Bring the music down. Bam. All right, there we go. Let's go and start our down timer. 1 moment. Boom. There we go. All right. I'm at least 40 pages in. Good Lord. Anyway, hopefully the sprint went well for everybody out there in internet land. Ugh. I cranked up the AC before stream started because it's so bloody hot, but anyway. It is like still somehow the heat still radiates inward even with the AC. Hey, that's like almost halfway. We're getting there. We're almost there. We're almost there. It's definitely it can't fly if you don't jump. Ghostly. Do the thing. I got a tiny bit done, but I'm making a bold choice and I'm overthinking it. Hey man, if anything, the best thing about bold choices is like writing is quote unquote cheap. It doesn't cost money, so at least if you just make a separate thing, do a bold choice, see how it plays out, you can always change it later. So, that's the nice thing about it. I'm going real weird with it and trying a checkout. Hell yeah! That sounds great, Cryptid. Hell yeah. I love that little Russian man. Yeah, doesn't he have... He's got something about a gun, right? Isn't there a whole thing about... Yeah. No. But that's cool. That's cool. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, this is... It's coming along. I mean, we'll see. I'll have to go back and... Since I don't like first person, it's icky. Vasily is a sweetie, so I think his POV for kidnapping is possibly funny. That is a very... I mean, that's always fun then. That's good. That sounds... Yeah, I was like, if it's a fun character, a POV sounds great. I kind of go both ways with first person. Sometimes I really like it, and sometimes, yeah, it doesn't work. I think in very specific circumstances, it works extremely well. In a lot of cases, I think because you really have a kind of a fun sense of humor, I can see how some of the limitations of first person might drive you crazy. That's just a theory, though, because you have you kind of have a little bit it's hard and it's confusing and it's icky. you just have to be in that character's head, man. You gotta be. I want to be a smartass so bad. Yeah, that's why I was like, that's why I can see it being hard for you. Because it's very limiting in a way that you clearly like to play. And we need some humor after the grim politics of the previous chapter and Alan's PV. Ah, there you go. Yep. Mix it up, Cryptid. Mix it up. It's hard because Ghostly has a very strong narrative. That I was gonna be like, exactly. That's why. I mean, you can also try it both ways, Ghostly. Try writing it in first person and see how you feel about it writing it outside of first person. Like, try writing it in third again. And where you... Although the tone, I can see why... Because you like to do that and be all, like, smart-assy and a lot of fun. And it's like, if you're trying to go for the horror, you definitely do a horror comedy, but it depends how you're trying to really keep it creepy. No, I have a deep gut feeling that this will not capture in 3D. Got it. It's harder to do. But the nice thing about first person in the proximity you have to the actual horror is closer. So it does allow you to be more visceral and kind of get the reader close to the person experiencing things. That is the one benefit of it. Limits of first, I mean, sorry, typing around. Oh, yeah. That's fair because limits of third work well for Gothic. Yeah, that's true. I was going to be like, yeah, it does work well for Gothic. I want to have it split between it being I want to have it split between it being a retelling from Tulula and Keeper's Log from Yoder. Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. That's a cool idea, Ghostly, and lets you play a lot with unreliable narrator type stuff, which is really gonna be where you can have the most fun. Yeah. So two POVs in two different mediums. Yeah, big fan of the Keeper's Log. Big fan of that, Ghostly. That might be my favorite structural choice you've made, is having part of it be a Keeper's Log. You really took to heart a lot of the things that what's his name was doing in that horror story book, because he does a lot of that too, where he incorporates the screenplay. Was it Trumbley or whatever? Who wrote that horror story? There was a recommendation you gave me, Ghostly, where Paul Tremblay, yeah, where he incorporates different mechanics, like some of it's like third person, some of it's first person, some of it's the screenplay itself. Um, Smart. It's always fun. Horror movie. I didn't realize. Yeah. Horror movie. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like stories that do that incorporate, particularly when you're doing putting, that's the Lovecraftian, the disparate pieces of knowledge of hitherto harmed us little, but one day the piecing together dissociated knowledge was opened up such terrifying vistas of reality that we should go frightful position therein. Should go mad from the revelation or flee from the deadly light into the peace and safety of a new dark age. But that disparate multiple sources coming in to kind of paint this horrifying picture, that's a really smart way to do it. Oh, Ghostly, what the fuck did you just say? Sorry, it's the opening. It's the opening to Call of Cthulhu. It's the opening paragraph to Call of Cthulhu. I made it. It's one of my favorite. Did you just spout land? I was just repeating the opening paragraph to Call of Cthulhu. It was a thing I memorized years ago when I was in high school because it's a really good opening paragraph. But yes, it is. I don't know. I heard Latin. I mean, Lovecraft liked to write like a pretentious asshead, so like it has that ring, but it is English. Um, but there's a sentence in there that is like kind of the thesis for that structure. You would memorize the Lovecraft. I did. Oh, I did. I want to be a pretentious asshat. Recited while smoking a pipe. I think I read it to a class. I think I read it to my history class, saying that it was like an insightful. I said it was like, even though he's writing about like squid monster in the ocean, that it could be attributed to the coming of the atomic bomb, because the way that opening paragraph, it's got this like apocalypticism that really does fit. And there's a part where he says the sciences each straining in their own direction have hitherto harmed us little. But one day, the piecing together of dissociated knowledge will open up such terrifying vistas of reality, and of our frightful position therein, we shall either go mad from the revelation, or flee from the deadly light into the peace and safety of a new dark age. Yeah. Um... We need to go get you one of those pipes and blows ball. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Ghostly would. It's a bubble pipe would be perfect. My opening line is, "Part of me thinks I set sail with the intention to die." Great. Yep, that's a banger. That's a classic, like gothic. That's a great opening line. Perfect line. I'm so fucking proud of you, Ghostly. That slaps. That's a fucking great line. Great opening line to a horror story for sure. I'm too simple to be a pretentious asshat. I need to try harder. You don't need to try. Don't try to do anything, Ghostly. Like, I don't try to be a pretentious asshat. I think I just wind up being one. So you don't try. Don't try anything. You just do you. And then other people will attribute things to you. That's how this goes. Don't worry about it from your own end. Just do you. Do your thing. God, he says you can't try to be cool, you just are. There's nothing cool about any of this. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. God, he's a do or not do. Wait, do or not do not pretentious asshat. There is no try. There you go. Exactly. He really said that with his whole chest. There's nothing cool about this. There's nothing cool about it at all. I want to be Tommy Wiseau. Now, Tommy Wiseau is clearly a tryhard. That's yeah. The first fake accent. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Actually, I would believe to have that man's swagger and confidence. Like to be so wholly convinced of your own swagger and confidence and misplace that is truly profound. Is truly profound. Although when he started to realize he was a joke and try to lean into the joke, his stuff got terrible. But when he was like fully convinced that he was a serious person, that's why he will never be on the level of Neil Breen. Tommy Wiseau's great. He's very funny, but he will never be on the. He will never be Neil Breen because Neil Breen has made tons of movies and has to this day does not recognize that he is an insane person. He doesn't. He literally does not get the joke, and that's what makes him perfect. But Tommy Wiseau, for at least that brief period we had him with The Room, that's where we got it. I just want to be Chuck Tingleman. God. All right. We're gonna dive into our. I was like, that's very doable. I was like, just be you, Ghostly. Be you. You're a cool kid. Just do your thing. You got a voice. Like, lean into it. It's a good voice. You've got a great voice. Just do your thing. It will be, once you lean into it and you just do it, you'll suddenly have people around you thinking that you're cool, and you'll be like, I'm not cool. I'm doing weird shit constantly. And then you'll know exactly what it's like to be Sensei, because there's nothing fucking cool about Sensei. You just do your thing, and for whatever reason, some people might think it's cool. I don't know why, but I swear, just do your thing. I promise. All right. You have a trophy. I have a trophy. That's true. This is true. I have a trophy and was told repeatedly it's the worst film that someone had ever seen. So yes, this is true. But the trophy means nothing. The trophy is meaningless. The trophy is a meaningless gesture. I promise. Anyway. All right. We're going to dive in. I'm going to go restock on water and get some more tea. But we're going to dive in. Final sprint of the night. Happy writing, everybody. Yeah, there you go. Exactly, Crypt. My best work was that I should never write. Yeah, you just all of this is meaningless. The good and the bad. It just is what it is. And if you like it, that's what you like. If it's your thing, if this is like to you, the story that you think is the best thing you've ever told, then you're right. So, anyway. All right. Happy writing, everybody. Away we go, and away we go. Exactly. Fuck off forever. F-O-F. Foff. Fuck off forever. All right. Happy writing, everybody. And away we go. Oh, snap. Oh, man. All right. Even with the extended break, that is, or the extended sprint, that is a wrap on the sprint. It's fine. Someday I'll cry over my signed copy of Schism. All I'll say is just hang in there, kid. Hang in there. There's, there's some things I owe you. I have been forced to promise you at some point in the future. There will be in the future there will be perhaps a happy Virgil. It is well owed and well earned for the ghost. At some point I think I had to owe you something. I think there was some deal. Some deal was made. But perhaps in the future there may be. Ghostly, you totally owe me! I think there was some deal. A bargain was signed in blood, I'm sure. But yeah, just hang in there, kid. There might be a happy Virgil on the horizon. You never know. Made it to page 19. Congrats, Ink and Play. Good job. Good job. Any progress is progress. That's what we say. Yes, you are in my debt yet. Fine. He's just inside of where it's true. I've merged with the worms. I only see things in 10,000 year time spans now. This is just the way. I guess you're literally just a worm. That is true. I am just a worm. I read a lot slower in scripts and novels. That happened. There's no shame in that, Ink and Play. Particularly if you're, sometimes it's harder. You have to be very, very careful with the time and the space. You have to be very, very. You have to get through things very quickly in a screenplay, so it's a lot harder. Shockingly, less words, but sometimes takes a lot longer. And for Nell, we'll probably have to. I'll go ahead and give you back the extend the break. We'll do extend break next time. Because this is the end of the stream, so there's no break, sadly. But we will pick up next time, and we will throw an extend break in there for Nell. But yeah, so anyway, yeah. Glad to be back. I'm glad we got, aside from the hiccup with yesterday, we got 2 streams in this week for the first time in however long that has been. And we got, for as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure like full. This was a good full stream for the most part. But yes. Anyway, love you all. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. And yeah, we'll catch you all next week. Should be a normal schedule next week. I can't believe I'm saying that. Should be Tuesday, Thursday, 4 p.m. Same time, same place. Yeah, I'm always going to say should be at this point, given how life has been. But shockingly, this month seems chill. I can shake your jars. But anyway, take care of yourselves. Keep the faith, Ghostly. Keep the faith. Keep the Virgil faith. I promise. Keep the Virgil faith. Anyway, love you all. Take care of yourselves. And we'll catch you all next week. Have fun, everybody. Oh, Wiley, might I share something from the fandoms? Oh, no, yeah, no. Next time, Nell. Tell me something from the fandoms next time. Next time, we'll catch up. All right.